Volume. So today, for our CBAP classes, we will be studying around the requirement analysis and design definition. So let's get things started. How is a glossary different than a data dictionary? A glossary defines all terms used within an initiative, while a data dictionary defines only terms relevant to data modeling. They both define key terms relevant to the solution. C, they are the same and can be used interchangeably depending upon the organization culture. D, a glossary defines key terms relevant to the business domain, while a data dictionary standardizes a definition of a data element.
I will go for A for Alabama or D for Denmark.
Yeah. Shetaina, do you have any other opinion?
No, I'll go for the same.
Okay, let's try A then.
A, yeah.
That's incorrect. Oh wow.
A.
A glossary defines key term relevant to the business domain, while a data
Okay.
dictionary standardizes a definition of a data element. Okay, so that's a good thing to know and keep in mind. I will be going for A myself as well.
I think the trick is on the all terms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You are assigned to a project to help re-engineer a bank statement processing. Another team member showed you this diagram that uh, hold on. Another team member showed you this diagram of what he had modeled. He said that the scope of this project is concentrated around the item shown. However, you are not familiar with this type of diagram. Let us look at the diagram a little bit. I don't know if I should zoom out. Hold on. I think there is a way to click to show the diagram alone, right? Maybe not. Huh. Okay.
Uh, can you right click on the yeah, in a new tab?
Let's see. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the diagram. Let us go back to the question then. Okay, I said a different team member questioned the post transaction and report transaction attribute in the transaction bus. What is the correct response? So someone else is questioning this and this. Okay, so they say A, the other teammate is incorrect because name below the line on a class diagram represent operations. The other teammate is incorrect and the two items are probably misnamed attribute. The other teammate is incorrect because name below the line on a class diagram represent foreign keys. The other teammate is incorrect and the two items are actually other classes related to the given class. This is a little bit tricky. So you are assigned to re-engineer a bank statement processing. Another team member showed you a diagram of what he had modeled. He said that the scope of the project is concentrated around the item shown. However, you are not familiar with this type of diagram. And this is the diagram. You have the account, account number and all that. And the account type is the foreign key and the link to the statement, but we are not there. Our concern is here, transaction. So the account is linked to the transaction, and they are saying that a different team member questioned the post-transaction and report transaction attribute. I think he's questioning those two cases here, like the transaction and the report. What is the correct response? So let us proceed by eliminate stuff. A, the other teammate is incorrect because name below the line on the class diagram represent operation. Let's go see that. I think I think he's referring to transaction ID, transaction date, and transaction amount. Are those attribute in a class diagram?
Class diagram attributes.
I think
Yes,
is
they.
referring to the post transaction and report transaction being operations and captured under transaction table.
Yes, yeah, actually you are right. I read it wrong. Sorry, guys. Yes, you are right, Shaitana. He's referring to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are those are those two items, right? Incorrect because they are named below the line in the class diagram? Or should we eliminate that?
I think we can eliminate that. I think I will go for B for bank.
The other teammate is correct, and the two items are probably misnamed attribute. Do you want to share how you select this?
On a class diagram, we have a specific class, the transactions, it's a class, and within that class, we have different attributes, the transaction ID, transaction date, transaction amount. I'm not understanding what they mean with post transaction and report transaction. It's like an ID. What is it?
Okay. Okay, let's test that then.
Sorry, my thoughts on this. Between the
Yeah.
account and the transaction table, it says it's a one-to-one relationship.
Okay.
One to many, sorry. So one transaction ID or rather one account having multiple transaction. But then
Mhm.
there isn't a key linking the two tables.
Yep.
So I believe it could either be C, given that there is no foreign key link between the account and the transaction. So one account can have multiple transactions. The relationship is right. Every account will have or rather every transaction ID is associated with one account. An account can have multiple transactions. So in terms of the relationship, it looks to be right, but there is no attribute or a foreign key linking the two tables. So I am suspecting the foreign key names are not right. I'll go with C. That's just my thoughts
Okay.
on that. Yeah.
We have one vote for B, one vote for C. Which one do we want to go for? There is no one to
Mhm.
break the tie here. I can break it. I will go for C as well. I, and let's test it. If we are wrong, we can check why. Oh, we were both wrong. The correct answer is A. The other teammate is incorrect because name below the line on a class diagram represent operation. So these are actually the operation, right? So if you have the transaction,
Okay.
and then you have the attribute, and then the below that we should have the operation. I'm not really familiar with class diagram, and we just started this chapter. And guys, I wanted to say something here. It's not to scare you or anything, but it's to create awareness. This chapter is one of the hardest of the Babok, and it's 30% of your exam. So don't get discouraged if the first try you score very low during the training here. We have been doing that on the other side, I believe, for the last 2 or 3 weeks now. And people still wanted to go back and do it more. So yeah, I wanted to put that out there, not to discourage you, but to create awareness, right? And to help you also to study a little bit more chapter 7. I'm not saying you are not studying, but it's just to encourage you to do the same because it's a chapter that can come with a lot of tricky questions. You will see as we go through this. Okay, next question. It's still based on the same scenario, right? So they said the business, oh, let me, yeah. The business expert want to make sure that statement can be produced at least monthly or quarterly. What do you tell her? A, you need to see other documentation to be sure. There is nothing in the model to limit how often statements are produced. Another type of model will be the one to dictate how often statements are produced. A business rule will state the timing of statement of production. So someone else wants a statement that can be produced at least monthly or quarterly. What can we tell based on this diagram? So we have the account number that is linking to the statement ID. And under that, we have the attribute statement date, a statement ID date, and period ending date. So the option that we have, you need to see other documentation to be sure. There is nothing in the model to limit how often statements are produced. Another type of model will be the one to dictate how often statements are produced. A business rule will state the timing of statement of production.
I will go with D.
For delta,
Yeah, another type of no. No. Hmm.
Business.
Or
Yeah,
C. C or D. I'm toggling between C or D.
and one thing I was thinking of, I don't know if it is relevant here or not. We have the period ending date, but we don't have the start date. I don't know if that matters for this, but let's go back. Do you want to test?
uh, yeah, between B for bank or D for Denmark. So yeah, let's test D for Denmark.
Say D for Denmark, right?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
The documentation needed is classified as metadata and will include what the entry represents, when and why they were created or changed, how they should be used, how often they are used, when and by whom. And that's the reference here. Yeah. We need, even myself, I need to go back and restudy the class diagram. Let's move on. Which of the following statement is true about specifying and modeling requirement? Only stakeholders requirement and solution requirement can be specified at the same time. Business requirement must be specified and modeled before any type of requirement. Different type of requirement might be specific and modeled at the same time. Transition requirement are always specified and modeled last. You want the true statement about between all those. So let's think for it for a second. Okay, what do we think of this? Transition requirement are always specify a model as. Can we eliminate?
Record ones can be specified at the same time.
Do you want to keep or eliminate D?
I think we can eliminate it.
Okay. What about C? Different type of requirement might be specified and model at the same time. What do we think?
Yeah, I guess I will go for that one as the correct answer.
Okay.
My rationale is the solution requirements. I think they mean designs with that
Yes.
wording.
Okay. Let's see. Steiner, are you okay with that?
Yeah. I honestly don't have any. I'll
Okay.
just go with the majority. We can go with that.
Okay, and that's correct. Elicitation result contain information of different type, so it is natural to expect that different type of requirement might be specified at the same time. That's really good.
Can we
Requirement?
look at the other options? Sorry, there.
No, no, absolutely. Yeah.
I
Which
mean, I
one do you
just
want?
want to understand the order.
All
Generally,
of
with
them?
stakeholder solution, business requirement, and transition
Okay,
requirements,
let's
how
stress
generally would it
transition.
get? Yeah.
So elicitation result contain information of different type. So it is natural to expect that different type of requirement might be specified at the same time. So pretty much the same explanation as the correct answer. Let's test B.
Mm.
Same thing.
Yeah. Not very explanatory. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but one thing I can tell you, if you want more detail, go back to the Babok, right?
Mm.
Use this
Yep.
reference, take some note, and you might have more clarity there. And you have the watermark book, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You can also look into that to have a better I would say different view as
Oh,
well.
sorry. I thought you were referring to the Babok. What do you mean by the watermark book? I missed that. You're
Um,
referring to the Babok, right?
yes, you don't have
Ah, okay.
the watermark
Yeah, yeah,
book.
yeah. I got the Babok. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, but do you have the watermark book?
Yes.
Mm,
I believe it
mm,
is the watermark book. I mean, it's the one which I received from IIBA
Yes, I
after
believe
I
so.
registered as a member. So I reckon that's the watermarked version of the Babok.
Exactly. So,
Okay, okay.
yeah, you can that also can help understand. Okay. Next question. Requirement may be modeled using a variety of format. Which of the following correctly lists the type of requirement format? A. Logical, physical, formal, informal. B. Text matrices, diagrams. C. Text matrices, graphical. D. Throwaway, evolutionary, and functional. Okay. What do we think of A? Are those the format of requirement modeling? Or can we eliminate them?
uh,
Yeah.
I I think we can keep it.
Say keep it. Okay. So that means we should eliminate those three.
I'll go with B.
Test matrix and diagram.
Yeah.
And why did you prefer B to A?
I and I feel
Okay.
like I've come across that somewhere in the Babok.
Okay.
Uh, I need to change my answer. The logical and physical are actually logical and physical diagrams.
Okay.
That's right. The conceptual, logical, and physical would be the data modeling. I mean, representations.
Okay. It seems like we're all agreeing on B, so let's test B. And that's actually correct. So the requirement can be modeled in three different formats: text, matrices, and diagrams. That's really good, guys. Which of the following List describe why an activity diagram may be utilized. An activity diagram can elaborate on a single use case. An activity diagram can use business process model and notation BPMN so it can distinguish the activity of different participants in the process with either pools or swim lanes. An activity diagram is effective at showing how to handle a large number of scenarios and parallel branches. An activity diagram facilitates the identification of potential improvement by highlighting pain points in the process structure. Which one is least to describe it? Uh, an activity diagram.
I think we can eliminate B for Baltimore
Okay.
because the it actually uses UML, Unified Modeling Language, instead of.
Okay. Okay. I agree on that.
And A, it can elaborate a single use case and also handle parallel branches, parallel scenarios. I don't know about branches. I think we can go with D. My choice would be D.
Jose, do you agree on that?
Activity facilities. Uh, I will go with C for Canada or D for Denmark. My rationale is the parallel branches being the swim lanes, but
Yeah.
a large number of scenarios. It's not exactly a large number of scenarios. It's like a workflow, a flow chart. It's a specific pathway. So yeah, D for Denmark.
Uh,
Do you want to change it?
yeah, I want to go with B now.
No, I think that the activity diagram use UML, not the BPMN.
Yeah, there would be UMLs.
Yeah. So we have BPMN here, so I don't think it's the correct answer. You know what I mean? Because activity diagram use UML. That's why we kind of eliminate B. Is that making sense? Do you get what I'm saying, Shitaina? Or not really?
Not really. No, no, no.
So there are different type of language, if I should call them like that, right? And
Hmm.
an activity diagram use UML is the unified model language.
Modeling language,
It
right?
doesn't use BPMN, right?
Huh?
Yeah, UML is different from uh, BPMN.
So, with respect to this question, that would be the right answer, or are you suggesting it would not be the right answer?
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
at least it describes, right?
okay.
Oh yeah.
List is
Oh, okay. I see what you
So
mean
it,
now.
yeah, so that should be the correct answer then, because BPMN would likely not be used. I mean, would not be using the activity diagram.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good. And
I
yeah,
didn't see the list thing.
yeah. Okay. Let's check B, and that's correct. Yeah. And guys, on the test, you will not see a question like this. Which of the following is not least and not true and all that? No, the question will be more clear than this. I got caught up in the real definition and totally forget
Mm.
we are looking for the least. So that was a good catch, Shaitana. That's
Right.
really good. Yeah. Next question. So you have interviewed key stakeholder to uncover their business need. You become aware of many factors that the stakeholder think are true, but which have not been verified. You decide to document which of the following: A to B processes, B requirements, C constraints, D assumptions. So you have interviewed key stakeholder to uncover their business need. You become aware of many factors that the stakeholder think are true, but which have not been verified. You decide to document which of the following:
I will go with D for that
Yeah.
instruction there.
Say that again, Jose. Sorry.
Yeah. The same as Chetna, the D for Denmark assumptions.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good. Assumption are factors that are believed to be true, but has not been confirmed to be accurate, or that could be true now, but may not be in the future. And that's the reference. Really good. 8. Benchmarking and market analysis is a state technique for which of the following tasks in the requirement analysis and design definition knowledge area. We're talking about the whole knowledge area here. So A, define design option. B, verify requirement. C, analyze potential value and recommend solution. D, specify and model requirement.
I'll go with C.
C.
Potential value, benchmark.
So you think that benchmarking and market analysis are used for specify and model requirement? Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, perfect. I will give.
I'm also thinking C, C for Canada.
Is this a task in the knowledge area?
Oh, okay, okay.
We are
Got it.
talking about the task in the knowledge. I don't know. I'm
Knowledge
asking.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be a little bit careful here. We are asking about the task in the requirement analysis and design definition. So yeah.
They all are analyze potential value, specify a model, verification and validation,
Yeah.
and then define design options. Good benchmarking, market analysis.
So do you want to test D, or do you have anything, Jose?
D for Denmark.
Yep. Actually, it's define design option. This technique is used in this stack to identify and analyze existing solution and market trend. Benchmarking and market analysis is not a stated technique in this task. Mm, yeah, and this is the reference for it. Okay, next question. Generally, when will the business analyst model requirement in a change initiative? After evaluation, the solution, at any point in a change initiative, before requirement elicitation, after requirement elicitation.
Model requirements. After requirements elicitation.
Okay. Shitana, do you agree on that? Can we test it? Yeah, that was actually right. Requirement elicitation generally precede analysis and is stated as an input to specify and model requirement tasks. Although the BABOK state elicitation and modeling may occur sequentially, iteratively, or concurrently, you might start with some amount of elicited information before you can model that elicited information. That's really good, Jose. What is the purpose of the information management approach in defining requirement architecture? A. Define how the business analysis information will be stored and accessed. B. Define the relationship between requirement, design, and solution components. C. To trace business rule to requirements that key support. It defined the level of detail at which information should be captured. Information management approach.
I will go with A for Alabama.
Same as Jose. I'll also go with A.
Perfect. Let's test that. And that's actually correct. Next question. Which of the following best describe what is needed in order to specify and model requirement? Requirement, modeling tool, business analyst, any elicitation result.
It seems
That's a
very.
trick question. That's a
Yeah.
really trick question.
I mean, it should have been verified requirements if it were only requirements.
If I should think about this question, right? I mean, I think I would think of it as input. What I don't, among the list here, which one is the best input to specify and model requirement? If you should only choose one.
Either A or D.
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you want to test D then?
Uh, Requirements confirmed, requirements verified. Yes, yes.
So we want to go with Denmark,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's correct. Let's test A to C. Partially true, but there is a better answer. Requirement is not state input for this tag. Exactly. So any elicitation result is actually the correct one. And we got it. That's really good. Which of the following best describe some of the characteristics of requirement and design quality? A. Measurable, concise, feasible, unambiguous, prioritized. B. Atomic, concise, feasible, unambiguous, estimate. C. Atomic, concise, feasible, and unambiguous, approve. D. Atomic, concise, feasible, unambiguous, prioritize. And we're looking for the characteristic of requirement and design quality.
I will go with D for Denmark because because it requires increasing.
I'll go with A, Coffee.
Okay, so you don't think it has to be atomic?
I mean, it's got to be atomic, but it's got to be measurable as well. Uh,
Yeah, if it has to be atomic, then we don't have any atomic in A.
uh,
I think the trick with I was going with A as well, but I think the trick is that measurable they mean most likely the business objectives.
Yeah, I can agree on that, Jose. So
Yeah,
atomic, concise, feasible, unambiguous. In all four, I think the debate now is estimate, approve, prioritize.
yeah, I was between A, C, or D. A, I eliminated because of the measurable
Yeah.
thing. I associated more with business
Yep.
objectives. Uh, C and D, the difference is approved or prioritized.
Yeah.
The requirements and designs are already approved. We already went to that phase, but what we need to make sure is that we are going to deliver based on priorities, based on what
Yeah.
is needed. Uh,
Yeah. So let's test D then.
yeah, D. I go with D as well.
Yep. And that's actually right. You guys are killing it. In order to validate requirement, you must first do what? A, confirm requirement. Specify and model requirement. C, verify requirement. D, define design option. Before you confirm a requirement, what should you do?
Verif- Verify requirements.
Before you
Yeah.
validate, you have to,
Validate.
yeah, before you validate the requirement, what should you do first? Verify, you said?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
go with verify.
Okay. No, you have to specify and model requirement. Really?
Oh,
Validate.
Wait. Now I'm curious to pull the back 1 second because I want to. Oh, if someone has it, you can read it to us. Uh, uh, because it doesn't make that much sense for me at the moment.
Yeah, I would go with specify a model, verify, validate.
Yeah, but so why I said in this so do you think in this scenario the correct answer should be specify and model, or is that like
No,
a
no, 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 no,
okay?
no. The order
Yeah,
that I have in my mind is specify a model,
yep,
then verify, and then validate, which means
yeah,
that before validate comes verify.
yeah, exactly, and that's the same order I have too. So now I'm curious to know why this is happening. I'm opening my Babok on my second screen. Let's see.
731. Let me open as well.
Or if someone else has it, you can read it. Feel free to read it.
731.
Yeah.
Okay. Purpose. The purpose of validate requirements is to ensure that all requirements and designs align to the business requirements and support the delivery of needed value. We must do first.
It's still not really clear for me.
Yeah.
This is I think either the question is phrased poorly or
Yeah.
there's something wrong with this question. I can flag it, let's say. I will flag it and I will discuss this with Thea. So maybe she might be able to bring some clarity for the next class. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on. Suzanne is done with defining the solution approach, identifying opportunities to improve the business, allocating requirement across solution component, and representing design option to achieve the desired future state. Which of the following activity may be likely next step? A, ensure that requirement and design align to the business requirement and support the needed value. B, ensure that the design meet quality standard. C, produce different viewpoint of the requirement for the various stakeholders. D, estimate the potential value of each design option.
She has a solution approach. She identified opportunities to improve, allocate requirements across solution components, representing design options.
So she's done with the solution approach. Identify opportunity to improve or good system, placing the design option that to future state. If she done all that, what should be the next step? So should we estimate the potential?
estimate. Yeah, I was also considering the same.
Yeah, estimate the potential value of each solution.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Okay, the quality standards is the verify phase. Yeah, I'll go with D for Denmark as well.
Yep. Yeah, although there is no specific next step listed, it is highly likely that once you define the design option, you will estimate the potential value of each design and to establish which one is most appropriate to meet the enterprise requirement. Yeah. You are a business analyst working on a project with a complex business function. What approach will you use to help identify constituent part of the complex business function? A. Functional decomposition. B. Problem decomposition. C. Process modeling. D. Work breakdown structure.
I immediately am thrown at functional decomposition, but this might be a trick question.
I can agree less. I will agree completely with you, Jose, because functional decomposition actually break complex task uh, into part that you can really understand. So BA use that a lot across multiple discipline, if I can call them like that. So I will agree with functional decomposition. Shetaina, do you have a different opinion?
Uh, I mean,
Process
just going
modeling?
with the question of a complex business function, it seems likely, but I'm also thinking work breakdown structure. Mm, I mean, we can go with functional decomposition, yeah.
And now that you said that, I'm now hesitating between A
Okay,
and C because there is also a process modeling here. But is process modeling will actually help us identify constituent part of a complex business function? I think I will go with A. I will go with A. Because it make more sense in my head, but I don't know in the Babok company it makes sense.
yeah. I
Yes.
think we can go with A and then check the others.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Process modeling will not do that. A process model show the activity the organization perform, not the correct answer. Yes. Yes. So we're actually right.
And how about the work breakdown structure, Kosi? What would be the reasoning?
Decompose the total scope of the work, hence
Scope of
not
the
the.
work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
What is the purpose of estimation in determining the potential value of each design option? A, to create and estimate the measures used in defining value, to be able to provide some figure to the executive. C, to forecast and estimate each stakeholder's value in the project. D, to forecast the cost and effort of meeting the requirement. Just we're looking for the purpose of estimation and determine the potential value of each design option. What do we think of A? Can we eliminate A? Or do you want to keep it for now? Okay, let us come back to A. What about B? Do we do anything to program to show any figure to the executive?
No.
Okay, this can clearly be eliminated.
Yeah, that can be eliminated.
So C, to forecast and estimate each stakeholder value in the project. Is
Mm.
estimation used to estimate stakeholders' value? Or we use
Mm-hmm.
estimate to kind of estimate cost, effort, or even estimate some measurement, some kind of measurement, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
For this
I think
position.
D
either.
likely. Yeah, D likely.
So we can eliminate B and C. So now we have between A and D.
Okay, so, yeah.
What is the difference between forecast and create an estimate? That's actually tricky. The
Yeah,
measurement used in the definite value or
I
requirement.
agree with D for Denmark, but I for this one I will go with A for Alabama because they want to find the value for each design option.
Okay. Shitaina, do you agree on that?
Mm. I don't have an answer, Kosi. I'm not sure I
Okay.
understand the question right.
Okay. Let's test A.
No,
Okay. Yeah, that was what I was saying. So here, this describes the metrics
okay.
and key performance indicator. Well, I didn't know that, but what I was trying to say is estimation is a technique, right?
Yeah,
Mostly used to estimate cost and efforts, mostly across the BABOK industry. And even in real life, people use that to estimate cost and effort of something. And the value actually that they are referring to for each design option, I think the value is actually how much is gonna cost us, how much effort and resources we need to put into this. So if we didn't get that, this is the reference to go and learn more about estimation. And I believe 1019 is actually the technique itself. Next question. Kevin wants to model the rationale of the why of a particular change. Which technique might he use to accomplish this task? A. User stories, scope modeling, stakeholder list map or personas, process modeling.
for this one, I am immediately thrown at user stories because of the who, what, why format of them.
Okay.
But it's the rationale of the why of a particular change. Yeah, eliminate the stakeholder list, map or personas, process modeling,
And
eliminate
process
as well.
modeling can be skipped as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will go with scope modeling to try to understand the boundaries, the constraints, try to understand the big picture. I think user stories is just like a viewpoint from one particular stakeholder.
Okay. So what do you want to go with then?
B for bank.
Shetaina, do you agree on that?
Yeah, let's go with B.
Yep, this is one of the techniques used in the rational modeling category, which models the why of the change. That's really good.
Can you check why not user stories?
This is one technique used in activity flow modeling category, which represent action and events.
Okay.
Pretty close, but different. Personally, I was going with C. Let's check C. This one of the technique used in people and role modeling category, which model organization, role, and relationship. That's really tell you the why. That's true. So yeah. Next question. Rebecca is structuring the requirement to ensure a requirement form a single whole that support overall business objective and produce meaningful outcome for the stakeholder. Which of the following will not be a consideration for Rebecca? A. Requirement allocation. B. Completeness. C. Template architectures. D. Requirement viewpoint and use. So she is structuring the requirement to ensure our requirement form a single whole that support the overall business objective. That's what she
What
has
would
to do.
template architectures be? I mean, I'm not clear with the phrase. Template architectures.
Uh, let me see if I have something in the Babok because I can't remember either. Mm, thought I have my Babok open somewhere. I don't even know if we have that. Yeah, so it's right here. So an architectural framework is a collection of viewpoint that is standard across an industry, sector, or organization. Business analysts can treat framework as predefined template to start from the beginning in defining the architecture. Similarly, the framework can be populated with domain-specific information to form a collection of views that is an even more useful template to build architecture from if it is accurate because the information is already populated in it. I think it's some kind of architecture template, right? Like kind of predefined design, if I should think of it in certain ways, right? That you can use in domain specific with domain specific information to form a collection of views. Can I explain it better than that? Unfortunately, I cannot. I have it in my head, but I don't know how to um, explain it to you to make more sense than that. Uh, if you want, I can take note and also defer to Thea on this. But this is the reference that we have in the book.
I think this section here is around the same question, completeness and
Yeah.
template architectures, two of the answers in the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let us go back. Come. Yep.
Yeah, I will go with completeness. All requirements form a single whole.
Okay.
The question is not right, is not a consideration for Rebecca. So
Yep.
I think
Ah,
completeness and template architecture should be considered.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
What should
I
not be
agree.
considered is perhaps requirements allocation.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's the not thing. Yeah.
And that's correct. Requirement allocation is the process of assigning requirement to solution component and release to best achieve the objective and is a consideration in defining design option. That's really good reasoning, Shetaida. I hate those not questions because
Yeah.
you can easily forget about
Quite a
them.
number of them can be very misleading. Yeah.
Yeah. So IDEF, BPMN, and IGOE are type of notation utilized in which of the following model? State model, data model, process model, or conceptual model?
Process models. Yeah.
Process models. Yeah, I go with the same.
Yeah. How does the BABOK define a requirement? A stakeholder expectation, a usable representation of the need, a proposal of doing or achieving something, a usable representation of the solution.
A usable representation of a need.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mary is using different documentation format to transform a elicitation result into requirement and design in order to define the required change. Which of the following is not again? Is not a true statement about activity she is engaged in. A. The business analyst work to produce documentation with sufficient and appropriate details for the business to define an appropriate method to conduct business analysis activity. The business analyst work to produce documentation with sufficient and appropriate detail for the business to verify and validate requirement. C. The business analyst work to produce documentation with sufficient and appropriate detail for the developers to design from. And then D, the business analyst work to produce documentation with sufficient and appropriate details for the tester to measure the solution against before it is implemented into production environment. So she is using different documentation format to transform citation result into requirement design. That's what she's doing. And she's trying to define the required change. Which one is not true?
Okay, not true. Okay.
Yeah.
A for Alabama. Yeah, it's not the
C, I
business.
think C.
You think CC is not true?
Yeah, she's not documenting requirements for the development team, at least with the requirement elicitation. It is for the business to sign off and appropriate details for the developers to design from. Hmm. For the testers. To measure the regulators before. It's definitely for the business, so B sounds about right. With sufficient and appropriate details for the business to verify and validate.
Okay, what about C? The business analysis work to
Yes.
produce documentation with sufficient and appropriate detail for the
I think
developer to
C
define.
also sounds right. I mean,
Okay.
same with the option for D, given that the same produce documentation with sufficient details for the testers to measure the solution again before it is implemented into produce different sufficient and appropriate
So
business
which
to define. A, to define a product to conduct business analysis. Yeah, A sounds like an A.
that's it. And that's actually correct. Defining appropriate method to conduct business activity is planning. The scenario is asking about turning elicitation result into requirement, which is a task in requirement analysis and design definition. Really good. You just created stakeholder and solution requirement. What task did you just finish? A. Structure requirement. B. Specify and model requirement. C. Verify requirement. D. Prioritize requirement.
I don't think we have a task called structure requirements or specify and model requirements. There is a verify and a prioritize.
Okay. Yeah. So we can eliminate A. And
Hmm.
you think you can eliminate B too? That's what you said.
Yeah, I'm thinking there is no such specific task which says specify and model requirements. I could be wrong, but
So we are in the how many tasks do we have in the requirement analysis and design definition? We only have 4 tasks, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
No, 5 or 6. Or is for the strategy
I'm
analysis.
sorry. We have 6 tasks. That's correct. Yes. We have 6 tasks. And out of those 6 tasks that we have, do we have specify model requirement anywhere?
Yes, it's specify, verify,
yeah,
validate.
there is. My
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, there is a
So we
specify.
can eliminate A and still consider those 3. So, but they are telling us the stakeholder and the solution, the stakeholder and solution requirement have been already created.
There is no prioritized requirements in the tasks under RADD. So I believe there is specify and model requirements. There is verify, validate, define
Yes.
requirement architecture, define solution options. So I think we can eliminate A and D.
Yep.
What we are left with is B or C.
Yep. And then, so I guess one of my question will become, do we verify before create stakeholder and solution requirement, or do we specify and model before we do that?
That comes to that previous question that you flagged.
Yeah.
In
I
in my
think,
mind, we specify, then verify, then validate.
yeah, I agree. Specify and model requirements and then verify.
Just
So we
give
can
me a
go
second.
with B.
Let's
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Creating requirement is another way of saying specify and model. You know what? I will just flag these two so we
Can
can
you?
wait.
Yeah.
Go
Check
ahead.
it out. Can you check the verify?
Yeah.
What is the rationale for them? Okay.
This will be done after creating them.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. This one actually makes sense. The other one that you flagged
Yeah.
says like otherwise.
Yeah. I want to have both so I can show there,
Yeah.
right? So we have a like a direct view on this. And sometimes, I mean, it doesn't happen often, like very, very rare. But the watermark can also have some mistake, and we have opportunity to report those mistakes to them,
Yeah.
right?
Or we are not seeing the right way that they are asking the
Yeah,
question.
I mean that's always true. The build the CBAP really, what am I saying? They build the watermark learning to really help us to understand the foundation of the
Yeah.
CBAP. So they make it like harder than it's supposed to do with some trick question, like you can say. But yeah, I will definitely talk to Thea and I will make sure she address the question before next class. Let's do that. Next question. Atomic is a characteristic of requirement and design quality. What does it mean? It contains no extra numerous or unnecessary content. It is self-contained and capable of being understood independently of other requirement or design. It is small, atom-like. It is at the level that will guide further work.
B.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Carmen has been hired as the senior business analyst on an ongoing effort. Initial elicitation activity have been done, and she is now determine the best way to transform and represent the elicitation result into requirement in order to define the change. What will Carmen consider when modeling the requirement? Solution, audience value. B, context, audience, and purpose. C, purpose, change, and context. D, change, need, and context.
I think it's either C or D. Going by what I remember in the Babcock, I can't recollect if it was change or purpose. Purpose, change, and a change needs to have a need and a context.
So you think in Denmark,
No, I'm thinking C.
Charlie? Yeah.
Um,
Context, audience, and purpose. Yes, Charlie or Denmark. But
I go with the D, Denmark.
Yeah, because let's think about this a little bit, right? So both of them have change and context. The only thing changing is the purpose or the need. So do we need the
yeah,
need or do we
Yeah,
need the
need
purpose?
is definitely.
Yeah. So let's go with D then. Oh, wow.
context,
Okay.
audience, and purpose.
The form, level of detail, and what is being modeled are represented on the context audience.
Okay.
Change and need are not one of the consideration when determine the form, level, detail, and what's being modeled. Jesus, that's a trick question.
Level of detail.
Yeah.
Hmm.
700. Let's see. Question like that, I really want to like to read them. And
Level of detail.
yeah, I think what he's trying to do here, because it's a whole paragraph, you guys can go and read it. But I guess what they are trying to say here is if you want to transform and represent the elicitation result into requirement, right? In order to define change, those are the elements that you need. You need the form, the level of detail of what's been modeled, and the context, audience, and purpose. So if you read through
Okay.
that 7.0, they are actually listed and they give like the reason why you need them. Is literally the beginning of the chapter.
Yeah, after seeing the responses, actually makes sense. Like
Yeah.
a manager would want like a process model of the operation. a developer would want a UML diagram or something like that. It depends on the context, the audience, and why we are doing it. Yeah, after reading the answer, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's hope that the guys from the CBAP exam.
No, the CBAP, one thing I can guarantee you, the CBAP question is clear, like is way clearer than this, right? I think Tia mentioned this to you already. Sometimes some people reported that they have some calculation in their test, and in really rare occurrence, the correct answer might not be on the test. Like you can turn it different way, you might not find the correct answer. But this is the way I'm looking at it. And those questions are not like we're not taking a math test, right? So I'm thinking, well, if I try my best and I miss one or two questions that are math related, that should not prevent me to pass my CBAP, right?
Yeah,
Should I spend like crazy amount of time on those questions? Absolutely not, because we have 120 question that you have to pick from. And you have to make
yeah,
sure you score high on different knowledge area to pass the CBAP. So um, if you have a question that you think like you spend some time and you don't get it, pass it. You can flag it and come back to it. And if still you don't get the answer, choose something that you think it make more sense and go through it. Um, I know the idea is some people go through the questions like really quickly, right? And then come back to do a review. That's some
yeah,
people. I will not do it like that. I have seen some
yeah,
people also that they start the test at number 50 all the way to 120 and then work backward. And the reason behind it is because the first question might be diagram oriented and you might spend more time there. So it really
okay,
comes to, your judgment. But the system is really good and the system will let you know if you miss a question or you left a question unanswered. But for me, I'm a guy that work like in a really linear way. So I have to work from A to Z. It's just me. I'm not saying it's the best way. You have to realize the best way for you to work during the exam. And the one thing also is to control your nerves. Don't be like really stressed and all that. Now, it's a test. We got this. We have been prepared for so long. And when the time is right to take the test, I think we should all pass the CBAP. So yeah,
yeah.
just wanted to share that with you. So last question for the day. Catherine is preparing to specify a model requirement. She starts with conducting a thorough stakeholder analysis to identify stakeholders and analyze their characteristics. What technique is Catherine using? Stakeholder list map of personas. B. Stakeholder analysis. C. Organizational modeling. D. Role and permission matrix.
Stakeholder analysis, I'm thinking. I
Why?
mean, in
It's stakeholder.
terms,
Yeah, sorry.
I'm looking at what we can rule out. Rules and permission matrix will not perhaps help her with analyzing characteristics of the stakeholder. Organization modeling will perhaps give us information of the stakeholder and the kind of roles that they hold, not the characteristics. Stakeholder list map or personas again is also around mapping the stakeholders. So, stakeholder analysis. Mm, I'm not sure
Let
of
me
map or personas, so I'm going with B.
let me drag your attention to something. They are looking for a technique. Is a stakeholder analysis a technique? I'm not,
It's a
I'm not sure.
task.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a technique, it's a task.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, we are looking for a technique in this question.
Mm,
So
mm,
out
mm,
of
mm.
this list, what is the
Organizational
technique?
modeling.
the stakeholder list map personas.
Yeah,
Stakeholder
that's
list
what.
map personas. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the only thing I can see as well as a technique. So let's test that, and that's actually correct.
Yeah, stakeholder list.
Yeah.
Mm.
So those are the keywords you want to pay
Cool.
attention to during the test. They might say, "What is a
Yeah,
task?
the
What is a
techniques,
technique?"
tasks. Okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
techniques,
that's
tasks.
that's really
yeah,
good.
observation. Okay.
Let's submit the exam and see how we did, guys. We did really good. We did really really good. 72% is really good. Trust me, for this chapter is really good. You guys want to spend more time, obviously, in this chapter. Maybe I don't know. Whatever you decide with the, I don't know if I'm coming in any weekend, but yeah. I will be available and here to help if needed. But this is really good. Keep revisiting this chapter over and over. Learn the technique, the task. There is a lot of question that I was expecting to pop up in this state that did not. There is question around traceability, requirement. Oh, a lot, is in this chapter. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys will spend some time here. But this is really decent. I really want you guys to be proud of yourself and to encourage you to continue in this direction. So that's really
Yeah,
good. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Let me
Cool.
stop the.
Kosi, if you have a couple of minutes, could you share with me the Slack invitation
Yeah,
to the group itself?
yeah. Hold on.
And
Let me.
perhaps we can check to see what's missing.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop the recording so we are not on YouTube with